favor, get on your feet and welcome to the stage the CEO of Network Marketing Pro, my wife, Marina Worre.
Run the world, girls. Run the world, girls. Run this world.
Good afternoon and welcome. I would like to congratulate you for being here. I have a great deal of respect for your investment of time, and I don't take it lightly. In fact, Eric, myself, and the entire GoPro team, we work really hard to bring you the best knowledge, the best information, the best strategies and tips that work around the world. And we want you to get as much information as possible, all the skills necessary, so you can take it and bring it and help millions of people who are looking for the solution. And inside of network marketing, we have a gift. We have what people are praying and looking for. So I would like you to remember that. And I congratulate you, because like Eric said, time is one of the precious things that we have. And your investment, not in the travel and the money and everything, it's all important, but your time. I really appreciate that you invested this time and you trusted us that we can give you everything that you need to go out and then succeed in this world. Thank you. Inside of network marketing, we have two very important goals that we're all trying to achieve. We want to build a big customer base, right? We want to represent our products and services in the best way so people can get benefits, so people can love them and enjoy using them, and we want to build the raving fans around our products and services, right? The second important goal that we do is we build a big network of people who provide those services and products to those customers, and we improve the productivity of that network. And those are two things I would like to talk to you about. But guess what? Do you know that inside of network marketing, women, not just in network marketing, 85% of all purchasing decisions for the entire household are made by women. It doesn't matter if people are selling cars, insurances, we are buying all of that. Women spend about $5 trillion in annual retails. We spend about $5 trillion, which is about half of US GDP. It's a big number. In last year, in the United States alone, 9 major retail chains closed their doors. They filed for bankruptcy. Do you know how many people lost their jobs? 90,000 people lost their income, they lost their job. Would you be interested to know, if women are your major customer, if we are buying not just for ourselves, but for our entire family, would you be interested to know what are the needs and desires and what your customer look like? Would it be powerful for you to have that information so you can serve your customer better? Right? Raise your hand with things that would be important information for you to know. "84% of Americans have a positive attitude toward the entrepreneurship. And you know why? Because technology and internet changed the way we receive knowledge, changed the way we communicate with people, and changed the way we shop. Majority of the sales now go online. 12% of all the retail sales are made by e-commerce. So that's why people are interested, what are the different ways to purchase, what are the different ways to make some money, and 51% of Americans can see themselves to start their own business. But what are the options? Can they go into real world and start normal business, which we know requires tens of thousands of dollars? In the United States, it's $65,000 minimum to start your own business. And all the risk and all other issues that you have to deal on a daily basis, it's a lot for an average person. Not everybody can do that. So what happens? Network marketing presents the best opportunity for average person who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to have that ability to make some extra money. And give yourself a round of applause, because this is the gift that we have with the world. In 2016, network marketing created over $183 billion in the retail sales. 105 million of people were involved in network marketing around the world. In the United States alone, we have 20.5 million people who chose network marketing as their way to make some extra money. And guess what? 74% of them are women. I cannot hear you, women. Come on, where is my 74%? And globally, this number goes to 77%. Women are becoming a global breadwinners, and they taking over, like in America's breadwinners, they taking that from men. So if you know that women are your major customer, if women are your biggest team that you have to lead and improve the productivity, would you be interested to know how to lead them, how to inspire them, what drives them? Would it be valuable for you to know? So to help me answer this question and many others, I would like to bring some of my great friends, some of the most powerful women in our profession. Please welcome to the stage Danny Robbins, Donna Johnson, Haley Hobson, Milan Jensen, Stefania Legato, and Susan Sly. Am I in a great company? Can you see that? So, ladies, you heard these statistics, right? Women are responsible for 85% of all purchasing decisions in the household. So that means that we buy for our man, for our kids, for our house, for ourselves. Do you think, is there any difference how you approach men versus women when you talk about your products and services? Is there the difference, or how do you talk about? Who wants to start?
Well, I think we should say girl power first. Come on, girls.
Would you like to talk, Donna?
Okay, I've just been voluntold. Thanks, girls. Firstly, I want to acknowledge Marina for her vision. I've been part of the GoPro community for years, and on behalf of all of us, thank you for creating such a beautiful, loving space for women where we can come together. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you.
The question being, do we approach women and men differently? It comes down to this: what does that person value? We all value different things at different times in our lives. Would you all agree? So there are times in our lives when say our health becomes the primary value, or there could be a time in our life when our relationship is the primary value, or it could be money, whatever it is. And when we're prospecting, which is a horrid, ugly word that, you know, now we say connecting and sharing and all the other stuff. Ultimately, when it comes down to relating with another human being, taking the time on the front end to ask them what they value, discern that, and then show them how your service or product can reach that value. The other thing I'll say about women, and it was alluded to, we're wired differently than men. We have 1,000 more times the synapses running from our left hemisphere to our right hemisphere of our brain. So we think in cause and effect. And is it okay if I'm just raw and real? So we're literally making love with our partner and we're like, crap, what am I going to make for lunch today for the kids? And oh my gosh, are we out of peanut butter? And oh dear Lord, do I have fat hanging over? You know, that's how we're thinking, right? And so it's just this knowingness that for women especially, we're not just usually looking at one thing we're valuing a lot of things. And I really firmly believe that if we spend a little more time in the front end with women, they can become our biggest advocates, our best super distributors, as Eric called them. And it's just really taking that time. So if you can commit to spending more time on the front end to have valuable conversations and are excited about that, make some noise! Woo!
You know, one thing about women is when women talk to their friends, they know more about their friends and what's happening in their bodies, outside their bodies, what they look like, what they're wearing, where men just don't do that, right? And again, so if you find out what's important to them, what they value, what's exciting about that is that they share those thoughts, feelings with their friends as well. Women are caring, we're nurturing, and we naturally want to reach out and help people. Don't you think so, Stefania?
100%. And also, at the end of the day, we make men believe that they take the decisions, but we actually are taking the decision in the family. So I always go for the woman, even for the business. I always make sure that the woman agrees, because if she doesn't, the guy can forget about building. Sorry.
It's all right. That's the truth.
And my husband buys my shoes, so that's not the decision I make in my family.
Camera. Beautiful.
Well, I would say that he's a unicorn, because I would agree, I think that you guys would agree with me. Who likes to shop more, men or women? What do you think?
Women.
Women, of course. Like my husband, he's horrified. If he needs to go shopping, it would be a disaster. So that's why I do all the shopping for him and for us. So Donna, you are a very lucky woman because you have a unicorn at home.
Yes.
No, but I think everyone is really saying the same thing, because when we're building our business, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. We just need to make connections, make a friend, find out what's important to them.
So what would you say, what are the best strategies that you think there are today that help you to enroll more customers into your business? Do you see some trends, or where do you find them?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things that we all just spoke about here is just making that connection with people. So whether we're looking to bring somebody into our business who potentially wants to partner with us or build with us, or whether we're trying to help somebody through some specific health or financial or emotional issue that's going on with them, it's all about that human connection. And so that's one of the things that we do really well. You know, we're just backstage, all of us, and just from being at these events, all of us have become, I called it on Facebook, sisters from another mother, right? We only see each other a couple times a year, but we all come together and we bond together and we make this beautiful connection as women. And when you can tie together that connection with helping, empowering each other and building confidence in each other, then you've got an unbelievable strategy.
And I know you build a lot of your business on social media, so tell a little bit how you find your customers. What do you do specifically? What attracts them to your business?
Yeah, honestly, it's just being your authentic self. I really just love to share my day-to-day lifestyle choices, which I think allow people to stop and think about what they also really want as well. And when they can make a connection with me, even though it's via the computer or an iPhone or whatever, then they're examining what their priorities are, what their dreams are, or where they want to be in their life, and they feel connected, and then they tend to reach out.
I think for us, we've learned a lot about how to transition from what worked before, maybe 10 years ago, to where we are now. And while we've always had a very network marketing focus in how we built our team, we've been adopting what we've seen work in the party plan structure, because we can do that on social media now. And we really focus on empowering every single new person to feel very confident in building a customer base of, I'd say, maybe 500 to 1,000, and then duplicating that very well. And so they use groups for that. The other thing that we've seen is teaching them how to have a basic business page, where they use the business page for the exclusive purpose of connecting with the outside world, and then they have a VIP customer group, which is where they welcome their VIP customers in, and that's where they love on them really hard. And so that's really easy for a newbie to do, and we've seen that really help our new population come in with success.
That's great, because like when customers use and love your product, there are more chances they're going to continue to buy, right?
I just, with regard to prospecting, how many of you have been in the profession over 10 years? Just show of hands. Okay, brothers and sisters, so how many of you remember mailing out audio cassettes? Yes, okay. So I started network marketing in my 20s, calling cutting-edge media leads, and I would just get this sheet of leads, and I was like, oh dear Lord, and I'd start calling, and someone would be like, oh, 7 people already called me, click, you know, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start at the bottom of the list, because I realized everyone's starting at the top, and I'd start at the back end, and then I was sending out audio cassettes. It was like a 2-week follow-up. I was walking up to people, I was doing all this stuff. Social media makes things so much easier, and sometimes when something is easier, it's very seductive not to do it. So first note I want to give you is, number one, be consistent. You are your brand, and that means 365 days a year, you are your brand. So we teach our team a strategy on Facebook, and it goes like this: 5, 5, 3, 3, 2, 1. So on Monday, when a lot more people are paying attention, you're doing anywhere from 3 to 5 posts. You're doing 2 to 3 lifestyle posts. You're doing a post that's informational, inspirational, what you're doing in your life, and a power post never mentioning your company, your product, but some form of usage, a lifestyle thing. Tuesday, you're following the same algorithm. By Wednesday, people are like wind down Wednesday. They're not paying as much attention, so you're there 2 to 3. Thursday, it's 2 to 3. Friday, it's 1. It's always humor. And then a power post on Sunday night. Why? I believe the number is, and the physicians could correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a high percentage, maybe 60% or more people have their heart attack overnight Sunday to Monday. Why is that? Because they're super stressed. So you want to be the light on Sunday night, and there are many people, and we're happy to share that strategy, just own it, use it, but you have to be consistent. It was mentioned about the Facebook Lives too. I have to tell you as a woman, and I'll just be as candid as it comes, Zoom, Facebook Live, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted putting on my foundation, my eyelashes, everything. I'm exhausted. I miss phone calls. I miss them. I don't care. I had my hair in a top knot, my Lululemon, and I was rocking, but now it's like makeup, hair, good God. And Marva's like, well, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You are your brand 365 days a year. So girls, one of the other strategies I did, I only do anything on camera Mondays and Tuesdays. Because the rest of the week, I'm in the Lululemon and the top knot. That's my best advice for social media.
Woo! So because of all the knowledge that I gain coming to these events and things that I hear from different leaders in the industry, I actually started a Facebook group the end of August with stories, and that's grown to about 23,000 people in just since the end of August. But when people share their experiences, you know how we used to always do 3-way calls to get someone on the phone so they could hear about an experience that was, you're like me, I'm like you. By creating those groups, we pin them on a post in that page stage that shows this is a story with, you know, a question that you asked, an experience that might interest you, and it has grown so quickly. And by doing that, it has empowered my people not to always have to call me, you know, to ask, well, who could I get them on to do a three-way call with? The more that we can empower our people, the stronger the organization will be. And as we've heard here, it's not, I always say, it's not you go do, it's I do, we do, you go do. And the further that we can get them, you know, self-sustaining, I want people who are self-motivated, self-responsible, who want to know that this is their business. And again, the more that we can get under them and help them feel those wings, it empowers them. And that's what we are all here to do, is to empower people. Right?
And actually, that leads to my next question, because we already know that 77% of women are globally involved in network marketing profession. And my question comes, why women? What do we see in our profession that men don't see? Or what is specifically is inside of our opportunity that encourages women to take that first step? What do you think is that?
I think it's flexibility, to be honest. I think that we as women, we're the ones that are nurturing, we're the ones that are giving birth, we're the ones that have children, we're the ones that have that longing to be at home with our little ones. And the traditional 9-to-5 profession does not suit our sex. It just doesn't, right? We don't have the flexibility. Before my network marketing career, I actually was a practicing attorney for 5 years, and so that was a crazy schedule. I'd get to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. There were nights I didn't get off until 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I thought to myself, how can people have a pet, let alone a child, with this kind of job? Like, how do I even bring in my dry cleaning? How do I feed myself? Like, there's no flexibility in that schedule. And I think that we as women now are recognizing that we don't have to be working all day long in a specific seat behind a desk, but we do what we do best, which is connecting. And we can connect from anywhere. We can connect while we're standing in line at the grocery store. We can connect while we're sitting at the airport waiting for our flight. We can connect over Zoom with the top knot and Lululemons on, right? We can make all of these connections with a flexible schedule that suits our lives, whereas the traditional career just didn't.
Exactly. For me, first of all, I believe that women are very open-minded, and I see that we are more adventurous, and when we go to a business opportunity, somehow we're really open for it. Then I believe that we want to be moms, we want to have kids, and working from home, it's a dream, because you can see your children, you can, change your diapers while you are talking on the phone, you can, go to the grocery store and drive. We can do 2 or 3 things at the same time, and this business is designed for us. On top of it, generally, we love to talk, because I have 3 boys, and my neighbor has 3 girls, and let me tell you, when the girls come over, their house is much more noisy than when my boys are there. So it's like, come on, we are paid to talk. So I believe we are just made for this business. And then, at least I see my team, which is mostly women, when the check goes up, then the man wakes up. Then they help. But we are just there. We see the vision. We are just the best. That's it.
Yep. Yes. Wonder Woman. I think that also women are just naturally attracted to this business because of the community, the culture, and how many of you saw the movie Wonder Woman? I got my Wonder Woman bracelet on. This is our sign. When you watch the movie, if you haven't seen it, watch it. If you have seen it, watch it again, and watch for the messaging in the movie about courage. Remember when Diana, everyone said, no, don't go, and she just badass, right? So there's so much personal growth in this business, and I love that movie. She found her power, and I think as women, don't shrink and find your personal power and shine, because sometimes we compare ourselves and we want to shrink. So just, when you're kind of feeling like you're comparing yourself, just do the little Wonder Woman. Is she there? Do we have Wonder Woman up?
I just want to add something about personal growth, because I think that's a really important point that you just made, and I was talking to Eric in the back and somebody else this morning about it. One of the things that those of you who are newer may not realize that you're getting from this industry is the massive amount of transformation that goes on inside of you. And I'm like fresh back literally last night from a 36-hour trip back from Kenya. It was
See,
it was
it's a
the manicure
miracle.
pedicure
Women
in the
can
Frankfurt
travel so long.
airport that got me here. but honestly, it's the experiences that we are having that attract women into this business, and it's the almost addiction to personal growth, to learning more about ourselves and how we can make a massive, not just transformation, but also contribution to our society, and not just our teams and helping them elevate, but literally like the work that we were doing out there, and building dams and painting walls and helping children live better lives. Like when you see that live going on in your organization or with your company or on your Zoom calls, that's what attracts people to stay in this community, I believe, and then continue to elevate and make a difference. And it's so hard to see that when you're first starting out, but I know that all of us in this position that we're in right now have had an opportunity to be part of that. And our lives have changed, and they can never go back to where they were now. And if we can show other women that they can have those experiences as well, and also our children, to invite them into those experiences and show them all the different ways that people are living globally around the world, and continue to elevate everyone. To me, that's the reason now that I do this business.
A lot of women looking for a sense of a community, and not just women, everybody. We want to be part of something big. We want to be part of something that it's important, that it's meaningful. And that's why inside of network marketing, I think just because the nature of our business is, you don't have to lose in order for somebody else to win. And that's not the way how you get to the top in this profession. So that whole camaraderie, that whole support system that we create for each other, that we always want to bring somebody and stand tall with us all the way to the top, that invites women and helps them to probably kind of like put their guards down and see that as an opportunity where you can actually be who you are and step into your true potential.
In my first experience in my 20s building a business, and it was all primarily women, what I quickly realized is sometimes the women that walked in that door compared to who they were a few months later was completely transformed. And what I quickly realized is sometimes it wasn't what that person was actually going to bring to the company, but what this was going to help them become. And they stood taller, they dressed a little nicer, but again, it was this transformation, and I think that that's what I love about this profession. It is this self-development course wrapped up in this business that you get to make money, you get to make whatever kind of money for whatever kind of output level that you want to be involved and engaged in. And there's no other profession that I've seen that develops people and recognizes people at the same time. My husband owns a large accounting firm. He's not using that great big watering can every day telling his people on those little wins that they're doing. But that's what we get to do as professionals. We get to help people believe and belong and become even more than they are right now.
I think for me, when I look back at every age and stage of my life, I'm kind of the great-grandmother of this group here, and I did not have this opportunity early on. I certainly wish that I did, but at every age and stage, I asked myself, I remember thinking, what if I could create a business doing something I really loved, that I was so proud of, and where I got to decide where I took that and what that meant to me and my family financially, and most importantly, that the most important factor of my success was that I took really good care of myself and the people I loved. Because honestly, climbing through the corporate world, as I did for many years, no CEO ever cared if I was healthy or happy. And so I realized I was showing up for that every day. I was agreeing with that. And it was network marketing that finally allowed me to say, I'm not okay with that anymore. I said it later on in life. But I think it was true when I was 22 with little girls too. So the whole idea of being able to create a business that you love, that you are so proud of, that has unlimited potential for you to show the world what you're capable of, and is really what every woman was born to do.
Thank you. So I have a question for you. If women represent 77% in network marketing, why we see less women at the top? What is that? Because We have amazing, powerful women. We know that we are great communicators. We know that women are great leaders. We know how to build and maintain relationships. And those are the key skills that you need to have in order to build a successful business in network marketing. But why do you think, what stops us to get all the way to the top? Is it fear? Is it self-doubt? What is it?
How many of you at this event have made a promise to yourself to improve your business in the next year? Show of hands. Okay. So how many of you realize that every promise we make comes with a price? The price is either physical, financial, or emotional. So many years ago, when I started in this profession, where are the Canadians in the room? So I was driving down the 401, and my beautiful husband, who's down here in the front row, he said I could share this story. My husband, Chris and I had just had a big fight, and I was driving from Brockville, Ontario, to Toronto to do another in-home presentation at my girlfriend's condo. It was a 3-hour drive. I'd worked all day, little girl who's 5, our son was 1, and Chris and I had a big fight. He's like, you're just going to have another sleepover with Mar, you're gonna drink wine and watch Sex in the City. And that was true. But we only did that after we closed the room. So I'm driving and I'm crying and I pull into the gas station, I'm like wiping my eyes and I look in the mirror, I'm like, suck it up, sweetheart. I got back in the car and I kept driving. And I realized on this drive that in order to be a network marketing professional, to be a 7-figure earner, there were some prices we would have to pay with the promise. People are going to return your products. People are going to no-show to your events. People are going to tell you they're going to do one thing and they're going to do another. People are going to criticize you. They're going to use you as an excuse for not being successful. And as women, we take it too damn personally. Girls, if you want to be #1 in your company, you're going to have to get your pony shoes on. You're going to have to grow a thick skin. All the women here who are 7-figure earners, they have gone through the challenges over and over and over again, and they keep paying the price. Stand up if you're going to pay the price for this promise. Stand up right now. Yeah. So that's my reason.
And that's
we take it too damn personally.
That's a great question, Marina, but I really do think there are a lot of women at the top. And I don't know, I've got over 300 on my team here from globally, you know, shout it out, girls. I don't know any of you that are holding back from going to the top. So I think there really are, but you're right, we need more.
We need more, definitely, because we have what it takes. I think one of the challenges is that a lot of women were told since they were a little girl that you're nobody, that you can expect great things, that don't reach for the stars because you will never get there. So a lot of us bought into that story, and that's probably what creates all those self-doubts and fears, and that's why we kind of like stepping into a little bit more of a supportive role instead of realizing that we actually can do great. Like all the statistics are showing that women are crushing in every single direction, and women are leading huge global organizations, the CEOs, the presidents of the countries, a lot of them are women, so we just definitely need more of them on the top.
Yeah, I think some of it is fear also, and some of it, honestly, ladies, I think is laziness. I hate to say it, but I think that some women are sitting around hoping that it's going to be easier. And I've got news for you. None of us had it easy. You know, when I flew in yesterday and I arrived in Frankfurt at 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I got on the train to go from one terminal to the other. And this is early. This is, what day was yesterday? Friday. And 99% of the passengers on that train were men. And I was thinking to myself, it's rush hour at the airport. This is when the flights are coming in. This is when the men are going out or the men are coming home. And it was an interesting observation to me because I noticed that it was the men that were committing to get up that early or get in that early and go out and do the work. And there just needs to be more women who say, I can do it too. I can do it too. There's no excuse. I started my business when my daughter was 3, and I raised her as a little network marketing baby. And she came around to my events with me, and she sat on my lap at Zooms, and she still interrupts all my meetings. And she's been part of my journey, and there's no reason, in my opinion, why we can't be mothers and kill it in our businesses as well. And it's just a matter of saying, I can do it, I am willing to do it, I'm gonna get off my butt, and I'm gonna stop sitting here waiting for someone else to make the difference for me. I'm gonna do it because I can, and I'm not going to listen to all the stories in the back about who supported who 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I'm not gonna pay attention to the 99% of the people that are on the train. I'm gonna make the difference. I'm gonna get up, I can do it, and I'm going to.
That's beautiful.
I just want to say, preach it, sister. Fairy tales are for little girls, not for big girls. The white knight is not riding in to just grow your organization when you sponsor that one person, girls. It's not like that.
Yes.
So ride your own white pony.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe we always say that don't use your kids as an excuse. Use your kids as a why. Please, people try to make me feel guilty because I took off sometimes 2 weeks in a month to go and build my business internationally. Yes, I miss my kids. Yes, it was very hard. Once to reach top ranks, I didn't see them for 1 month. And my mom and the friends of my mother who saw me on Facebook said I lost my mind. You know what? Today my kids are living the lifestyle. Today my kids live in Dubai. And I just... And they're so proud of me, and it's my example that has given them the best school. And just now at the company convention, when I achieved the top rank, my 14-year-old I took them on stage to show them what the convention was. He just took the microphone from me and began to talk about mindset and how he thought we were going to be broke and how he thought that I was crazy, but actually he's so proud of me, and how he decided he's going to be a network marketing professional. And I was looking at him, I was like, oh my God, this is a little rock star right in front of me. He's my next recruit here. And I tell you, moms, don't be guilty. Don't feel guilty, because you are doing it for them. And many times women, they think, oh, I make $10,000 a month. It's enough. Now I stay at home. Just go stronger and stronger. And 7 figures is just the beginning for us.
Preach it. This is Stefano. This is Danion's wife. Little Danion last night. You heard speak, Danion, right?
Yeah, my husband spoke yesterday.
This is his little wife. This is the power.
This is the power. I'm the short one he spoke about yesterday and said that he met me with the light blue dress. It's me, yes.
And on what Stefania said, you know, moms, you're here in this room. I have 4 children as well. And of course we want to be there with them, but who do you want them to see who you are? All of my children now are raised, and you know, it's who you get to help them become. My daughter, who's now crushing it in this business, a 6-figure earner as well, when she started with me, one time I introduced her as my assistant, and she looked at me and said, don't you ever say that again. My mama didn't raise me to be nobody's assistant, right? Okay, your children watch what you do, not only what you say. And you are powerful. And when they see you and they see you struggle, again, you're empowering them for what life is going to be like. And when you show them that we do have a better way, that the struggle is worth it in the long run, right? Where else in this world, you know, my husband, again, he owns a large firm, but he'll say, honey, I love you, but nowhere else can you do what you've done. To be able to have the freedom of having your laptop and have a cell phone, and you can do business anywhere in the world. Where else, women, could you go have the freedom and the lifestyle, and to have, you know, to be able to make this kind of an income? It just doesn't happen anywhere else but in this profession.
Yeah, I just want to say, I want to speak to to women who are asking themselves this question, like, why have I not risen to the top? It's not that I don't want it. It's not that I can't see it, but for some reason I'm not. And I have little granddaughters and daughters of my own, and I've watched us hand them dolls at a young age, and I've watched even with my own daughters how much we value women for how they care for others, and that our whole lives were reinforced in almost losing ourselves in the care of the people that we love, which is a beautiful thing. I think it makes us really good at network marketing because we can sustain for a very long time, pouring ourselves into people so that they can thrive. But I also think it's what prevents some of us from being really great leaders, because you hit this point in your business where you imagine, or you maybe look at us and you think, if that's what it takes, I might not be able to. And you imagine, like, how much harder, who would I have to become to really lead and crush it? And that's what holds us back. That idea that is completely false, by the way, of who you have to become to be a leader. You really are one right now. You need to stand in that. And I used to fear leadership because I thought, what are people going to expect of me, and can I meet those expectations? How much more of my life am I going to lose being a leader? And I'm here to tell you, at this age of my life, everything about who I am really elevated when I let go of that fear and when I stepped into who I was. And when I let those people in my life see all of the flaws, all of the mistakes, and just honestly who I was as a woman, and I think they love me for that. And my real joy is in showing women that leadership does not require you to lose who you are at all.
And it's true, because a lot of people think that, like, I'm a perfectionist. I'm always trying to make everything perfect. Like, even now, I'm kind of like, okay, how can I do better? What can I do next time to improve the event, to do something more inspiring and more valuable for you guys? But at the same time, I understand there is no such a thing as perfection. And I think we women judge ourselves too harshly because we're trying to make everything so damn perfect. And it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be no perfect timing. There's going to be no perfect situation. There's going to be no perfect place to be who you are, to be the leader who you're meant to be. And people don't do what you say. People do what you do, right? And our kids are a perfect example for that, because, like, we are what they replicate. We are who they look up for. And if we start playing small, if we start saying and buying in all these stories like, yeah, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm not that strong, I probably should, you know, let my man do all the work and I'll just be the wife and support and take care of the family. And guess what's the message that you're sending to your kids? Exactly the same message, that, yeah, you can be great, but will they listen? Of course not, because your example will show them. They will come to you and say, Mom, how do you think that I can achieve everything that you're telling me I can do, but you didn't follow your dreams, you didn't follow your heart? How it's even possible? So your message will be so incongruent. That's why for your kids, you have to do that. For your kids, you have to be strong. For your kids, you have to be powerful. And guess what? Your men will love you even more because they fall in love with the powerful and strong woman of who you are. And let them see that power.
Yes. And I think oftentimes as men, they feel like there's a lot that they can learn from women, you know, the relationship being, but also for women, I think there's a lot that we can learn from men, to not take things so personally, to not get so, you know, emotional about things, just really take charge. I loved Rob, the skateboarder, the other night when he talked about rating himself in every area of his life, 1 to 10. I learned so much from that. The discipline of growing each area. So if there's an area that you're weak in, like Danyan said the other night, he was the numbers person and you were the relationship person. And while that's good that we know what our strengths are, learn to be more of a numbers person. Learn your ratios. If you're getting in front of 30 to 40 people a month, how effective are you at presenting? What are your ratios? How many of them are turning into customers and consultants or distributors? And so if half of them are joining your team or becoming customers, your ratios are about 50%. So learn to treat this like a business as well.
And I think working as a couple is very important, and a lot of people, instead of collaborating, they're trying to compete. Women are trying to compare themselves with the men, and there are obvious reasons that we cannot be we cannot do the same things, and we don't have to. That's the truth. We have our strengths, we have our talents, we have what it takes, and we need to realize that we need to work on each other's strengths and not to point at each other's weaknesses, and that's where the true collaboration comes to. Eric and myself, we call each other two-headed monster. You know why? Not because we're perfect, but because I know what he does best, and he understands what I do best. And instead of competing with each other, we collaborate. So I'm not trying to pretend that I am who I am not, and I'm not trying to make him to become who he is not. I'm cherishing and honoring all his beautiful talents, and he does the same thing for me. And I think that's where the beautiful relationship comes from, and that's when you become unstoppable as a couple, when you empower each other, when you support each other, when you build up each other. That's where the true power comes from.
Can I say something to that? Awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up, because in the beginning of my career, I really wanted my husband to be like me. Now, if I was married to myself, it would not be good. I wanted him to prospect. I wanted him to follow up. I wanted him to present. I wanted him to be on stage. And that was really a challenge in our marriage. And over the years, people have asked me, what's the best advice that you can give? And I would say it comes down to three things. Number one is that you have to have your priorities straight. Vince Lombardi used to say, boys, this is a football, and your priorities are God, family, football. And I think if your priorities are on straight, whatever those are for you, whether it's God and family and then business, keep that at the forefront. The second thing I want to say is that, you need to be you need to do you, and your partner needs to be them. My husband, Chris, is incredibly supportive in ways that I can't even imagine. He's the one packing my stuff when I'm going off to do the presentation, and when I'm having the wall kicking moment, he's the one hugging me. I don't need him to be me. So stop judging your partner for them not being in a certain way. Love them for exactly where they're at. And the third piece of wisdom that I want to give to you is make your marriage a priority, your relationship a priority. Coming back from this whole concept, we see women as we grow, we also step into very much the masculine. And sometimes we lose some of that feminine. And as women, it's so important, because when we get out of balance, we get sick. I was saying this to someone last night. They were like, work-life balance. And I said, when women get out of balance, we get sick. And some of you are at that place. You're burned out, you're exhausted, you know who you are. Figure out how to evoke the feminine and recapture that. It's going to be very, very attractive. So that was just something on my heart to say.
And on that, Susan, years ago, I had some very powerful women friends who made a lot of money. They were highly respected, but, they said at the end of the day, you want to be that woman. You want to be vulnerable. And to have someone like that, and if you have that, make sure you appreciate that. Make sure that you're telling them how much you appreciate those things that they're doing, because that does mean so much to who you are. And I always like to say, don't let the things that matter the most matter the least. And so nurture them, take care of them, and appreciate them. And just like Susan, my husband is the same. I wouldn't want him to be me as well. We would kill each other. And so again, embrace that, because it makes us more of who we are. And who you become, I always say, who you become in the process of building your network marketing business will be the master key to your success. So write that down. The master key to your success. And also, as Milan had mentioned, I've had people a couple years ago, someone come to me and said, I'm just so scared. I'm so scared about being a triple diamond, whatever. And when I finally said, okay, well, what rank are you right now? I said, you don't have to worry about being that. Because this is that big audacious goal of what you want to become, but you have to become everything else along the way. We didn't, none of us got here being these seven-figure earners, right? I believe none of us were born these stars, okay? We have all become that. We have all sat in the back of that room. So those of you who are back there, we were there. And I truly believe that the goal of network marketing is to go from the back of the room to the front of the room to the back of the room, because we want all of you to get up here, and it is possible for every one of you if you believe. Do you believe? Do you believe? All right, that's what I want to hear.
Well, this wonderful panel was inspired by the event we hold every year, and we already had 3 of them. We call it the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. And all of you guys, you either spoke on stage or attended with your teams. Let's talk a little bit about that. What did you get out of this event? How it changed things in your team? What are your thoughts on the event?
Well, first of all, I think to get several thousand women in one room together with no men, except for Eric, is a completely different, not necessarily better, but different kind of energy. And one of the things that we've all been talking about from the stage right now is just how we have a common goal as women to support and lift each other up. And when I've been in those events, whether I'm sitting in the back of the room or sitting in the front of the room or walking on the stage, what I feel is just this overwhelming feeling of love and gratitude and appreciation for all of the human beings in that room that have come together for a common cause and want to do something similar together, and how there's so many other women there that want to support them. I said this before, and some of you have said it as well. One of the things that I love so much about this business is that we are surrounded by people that want the same thing. They have the same cause. Have you noticed, those of you who have been in the business for a while, that all your friends are in network marketing, right? And you have fun with them, not necessarily talking about business, but because you all have the same swelling in your heart to help other people have a better life and to serve other people and to support other people. So that event is just a massive way to be in that kind of energy. And it's just so fabulous. Thank you for creating it.
Thank you.
Yes. To me, the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing event was life-changing for my team. And I can tell you, I get even emotional about it. Sorry, I'm even pregnant. But I can tell you, I've never seen so many women loving and empowering each other like on that event. I've never received so much love, and on social media, on emails, even they found out my number on WhatsApp by saying they were inspired by my single mom story. And to see a bunch of women wanting the best for each other, wanting to change, is life-changing. And it's never enough. I know maybe, this would be my 4th time, and I'm going to be really pregnant, but I will not miss it. Because I know what that event does to me. When we think like, oh, we're 7-figure owners, every time I come, I learn so much from these women. I mean, 4 years ago, I was sitting there on the right at the GoPro Recruiting Mastery. I was 1 month in the business, in network marketing, and I heard Susan and I heard Donna. You girls were already talking then. Never in a million years I thought that one day I would share stage with them. Never in a million years I thought that I would make 7 figures on my own and I would be married to a guy that is making 7 figures on her own. Never in my life. And this is possible thanks to one and only profession, network marketing. And I thank you, Eric and Marina, for making this event. You cannot miss the most powerful woman in network marketing. I'm going to come, my team will come, live streaming, I don't care, everywhere you are, because it's the best ever. Best.
Thank you.
My husband Thomas is also a top leader in his network marketing company. Yes, two leaders in network marketing married. It can be done. But we said the most powerful women in network marketing is the best event of the year. It really is. Sorry guys, it just really is. It's amazing. And I think it's important, I know speaking for my team and my business, sometimes when we're in our own little bubble of our teams and our own companies, we get a little jaded. We're like, oh, we're the best, there's nobody else cool out there, right? And we're just a little neighborhood in a big city. And we need to visit the neighbors and make friends and go shark diving in Bora Bora together and go to crazy Christmas or sweater parties and do fun things, pray for each other. It's important for everyone to see the profession as a whole and that we're real. And I think if we want to elevate the profession, I've been with the profession for 40 years, 30 years with my company, and if we want it to get better, we have to treat each other with a lot of love and respect and build those friendships and not be afraid to get to know your neighbors and the other people in your city.
So that event was like a dream come true for me, because in my heart of hearts, I believe that when women gather, magical things happen. And so when you first shared the idea of it, I was like, this is going to be so incredible. And I think it's because years ago, our lives have changed. Years ago, women used to gather around the kitchen table with their sisters and their aunts and their mother and their grandmothers, and we would be able to see what it looked like to be 10 years older or 20 years older. And we had generations of comfort in what it meant to go through those ages and stages of life as a woman. And now we pretty much go through our lives somewhat isolated, somewhat feeling separated. And so what this event did and does is it fills a room full of women at all ages and stages of life and success, and we all of a sudden realize that there is no separation here, that we all want the same thing for ourselves and for the people we love. And I believe it's going to become the most powerful work that you do and that we all do together, and I'm so proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, do you guys think these women are amazing and powerful? I would like to thank you all. Thank you so much. You are all so beautiful. You're all so strong. You are the most powerful women in network marketing. Please give a big hand to our panel.